Hello, everybody. Um, I'm just thinking about what's it really going to be like when technology and humanity start to actually merge, especially in this current AI era. And I thought of some interesting scenarios, and I'm thinking, hey, I should just make a video about this and share them with you all to see what you think. So with that, we will get going here. And first, I just wanted to um, bring to your attention that I did a recent video about some of the things I've learned when flying, like the whole airport experience, and especially if you're blind, what you should expect and be prepared for, and how to advocate for yourself, and all that kind of good stuff. So be sure to check that out. And then the last video I did was all about PickyBot. And if you haven't checked out that app and don't know what it is, I would strongly suggest that you check it out if you're blind and are interested in getting video clips described. And so I demonstrated that, and I won't say too much about it here because I want you all to just go ahead and check out the video, or better yet, check it out at the Play Store, at the App Store, or wherever you get your apps. And yeah, it's pretty cool and unique. And I have to tell you about the new feature I'm going to be starting on this channel. Yesterday, I was just talking to my sister, and she's going to be giving a talk like in November at her UU church. And I just said, well, if you want to do a dry run of it sometime or whatever for practice, you could be a guest on my channel and give your talk ahead of time. And she said, oh, I've already been practicing, and they're only giving me 20 minutes. And she said, I'll never be able to get everything said in 20 minutes. So she said, I'll have to ask them if they'll extend my time or whatever. And I said, well, if you come on my channel, we can always divide it into two parts or even more or whatever. And then I just got to thinking later, um, actually, it would be pretty cool if I just invited her on here regularly, like once every month or every few weeks or whatever seems good. And we could just talk about different things. Um, Even though we are twins, we disagree on some things or just have a little different perspective on things. And so it would just be cool to have her come on here and talk about probably more serious topics like politics or philosophy or just what have you, and share her opinion on it. And then we can have a little discussion, or maybe sometimes even a little debate, where I might say how I might view things differently, or if I agree, why or why not, or etc. etc. I guess it'll just kind of evolve as we get started. But she said she already has her first um, outline figured out, and her first topic and several other possible topics. So I'm excited to see what that's going to consist of. So she was receptive to the idea when I broached it, and so it's not going to be anything fancy. I'll probably just Skype her or whatever, and because we're both used to that app, it's kind of what some might see as older or outdated now, but we really got used to that as a family for doing our calls, because the big advantage is that like unlike Zoom or whatever, you're not limited to an hour. I guess Zoom, if you pay for a subscription or whatever, you can go longer too. But with Skype, you can just go hours and hours, which sometimes our family calls are that long, like the one yesterday, for example. I couldn't believe it. Um, but anyway, so yeah, we'll probably just do that because it'll be ease of use. And I read that the video quality isn't too bad, probably like Facebook or whatever, even a little better than that. And I've shared Facebook videos on here, and so especially for just speaking and stuff like that, it shouldn't really matter if the quality is pristine or not, because the audio will be really good, and you'll that's the main thing. So yeah, that will be a lot of fun. And I was thinking it would be really awesome if I could get my brother Reed to be a regular guest on the show too. We could have like ramblings with Reed. or something like that. Um, because we also have a lessons with Laura feature. Are you starting to get the gist here? So this is going to be my with my sister. It's going to be called Convos with Kim, I believe. That is about as close as I could come to getting two letters that um, are sound the same at least. And so anyway, um, that will probably be coming up here in the next few days. So be sure to stay tuned. And she's quite opinionated. Hopefully, she'll tone it down a little bit for my channel. But yeah, it'll be good. Good discussion, which I really love debate and discussing and like having a two-way conversation. Dialogue is always good instead of me just yammering on here by myself. It's kind of good to have a two-way deal every now and then. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And anyway, I might ask my brother too if he'd be interested, but one thing at a time. But he would lend a whole new different perspective again. So it's kind of cool how we're all different. But when I actually stop to think about it, I think in the end we all probably agree on more than we disagree. We might have a much different approach in how we get there or just some things along the way. But the main things I think we're all pretty close on. At least that's my perception. I'd kind of be interested to hear how they view it. um, but anyway, um, so let me see here. Getting back to my topic. I was trying to think of a nice segue there, but none are coming to mind, so I'm not going to be clever today. I'm just going to spit it out, I guess. um, so, like, of course, there's the extreme examples of humans and AI or tech merging, which would be something like um, BCI brain computer interface or like Neuralink where they actually put a chip in your brain or something. But I'm not even thinking about that in this particular episode. I'm just thinking about what is actually possible, if not today, then very, very soon. Um, and So, like, just say that a person um, injured their vocal cords somehow, or they have a very hoarse voice, and they just have a hard time talking. It might weaken them easily, and they just can't be heard. They can't speak very loudly or whatever. So now with AI, though, they would have the ability to um, whisper something or even type it out or whatever, and then um, they could use their voice when it was still a healthy voice and loud and everything and natural sounding. And so I just think that would be pretty cool, um, that they would have that ability so they could like keep, like if they were a YouTuber, for example, they could keep doing that even though without this capability, the AI integration, they would have had to like close down their channel, really. Um, and so then I just went a step further and thought, well, what if they never had a very good voice, or what if they just would like prefer to use a different voice, like an AI generated voice that is maybe more just I don't know, like expressive or just different in some way. Maybe just they just prefer to have a higher voice, lower voice, or whatever. And so I was thinking, well, yeah, I mean, if that's what they would like, they should have that right to be able to do that. Now that we have this capability, I wouldn't really see anything wrong with it. And so then I just got to thinking, like, what if they were got in a bad car accident and their face was really scarred and just deformed and whatever. And so maybe they decided, with the help of AI or just different tech apps or whatever, to polish up their face a little more, just so it would have a more pleasing appearance. So, like, people wouldn't be turned off um, by differences like that if they're so great that they would just be, that would just be all they were focusing on instead of the content of what the person was actually saying. um, so it would just be really cool if they could like look the way they want, or even if their face wasn't that badly messed up, but if they just preferred a different look, um, and for whatever reason, I mean, that's possible now. And so yeah, and then the more you think about it, though, the lines of where to draw the line just become a little bit more blurred. But that is the case with anything. I mean, you can always take anything to its extreme. And there's this saying that, like the slippery slope, like you better not even start down whatever slope it is, because you might end up at the entire opposite other extreme. And I mean, there's some truth to, like, once you start thinking about things, like, I really learned that in politics on both sides of the aisle. I've just figured out, wait, they're really wrong about this. What else might they be wrong about? And then I just start to thinking about uh, what else they might be wrong about, instead of just staying in my safe little niche where I don't even think about that, because I just want to be happy with a particular identity and not explore it too far or whatever, in case I might find flaws with it or whatever. Um, but so yeah, but just because um, there one thing progresses to another is not a reason to not go down that and see where it leads, go down that path. And so yeah, I was just thinking then, like, if somebody just decided to change, like maybe they just wanted to change how they like their weight online, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like if they're a content provider, maybe they just want to have a whole different persona online. And I did another video way back in the day about different personalities that people inhabit, and that they are, you can ask, like, which one is the real you. And I try to make the point that I think all of them are the true you. You can be different in different situations, and it's still all part of who you are. So yeah, but then I was just thinking, though, like, if this person was ever asked to, like, do a live presentation somewhere or something like that, and they showed up and they like looked nothing like, and they like portrayed themselves online, or they sounded nothing like their voice that they had online, and um, that could just kind of might be jarring. And so I was thinking, were they like being deceptive in this hypothetical scenario? Like, um, is that right to borrow a different persona, quote unquote? And how what I'm thinking right now, I mean, I haven't really thought about it too long and hard yet, but right now my feeling is that if they are like honest or whatever, at least with themselves, if not preferably even with their online community or whatever, they could just tell the story in one of their videos or whatever about how they are using a different voice, and this is why, and how they're using a different uh, look or appearance or a different face or whatever it might be, and just kind of explain that or whatever. And so that at least, if somebody wants to know, like dig deeper and find that out, if they're curious or whatever, they could do that. But yet the person really didn't necessarily be forced to tell their story either. If they don't want to, they should just be allowed to be them, and whatever um, the other people might think when they encounter that person. Just value them for who they present themselves as, and don't really have to um, worry about, like, well, this isn't really how you sound though, so, or whatever. I mean, I even thought about whether I should wear my glasses all the time on these videos, because I know my eyes move around sometimes, and that might be off-putting for some people, or whatever. But I just thought, for me personally, I just decided, no, this is really who I am, and people can just deal with it, I guess. Um, and so, but I mean, other people might make a different choice, like if they just yeah, well, I already went there, so I'm not going to repeat myself again. But yeah, so that just kind of illustrates how the lines um, can become blurred, and what we as a society, or even on an individual level, will have to decide about all that. And even if we decide one thing now, we might decide something else later, depending on those different circumstances that we might find ourselves in, or whatever. And so, yeah, but I'm just really excited about this era that we're in. I mean, there's a lot that I'm going to talk about in future videos, I'm sure, about things that we will have to figure out, and hard questions that will need to be answered. Um, but it's just exciting to see what is possible, and just to kind of push beyond what we thought. And like now they're teaching these AI agents how to play Minecraft and different games like that, and it's just so cool. Like, my kids played Minecraft back in the day, and nobody ever would have thought back then that um, Minecraft would be used to train and teach AI. And some people might be saying, who on earth cares if they can be taught to play Minecraft? What does that have to do with the real world? And I mean, it's too hard for me to explain right here and now, but you can definitely look it up online. Um, Matthew Berman is another guy. I told you about Wes Roth the other day, and there's this other channel called AI Search. He does a really good job of explaining some of these concepts and why it's so crazy. And the thing is that, uh, like, playing Minecraft has a lot of real world applications. Wow, it's funny how there always seems to be an airplane on these videos. I mean, we don't get that many planes flying overhead, but it's always when I do this. But anyway, hopefully it's not too distracting. Um, but just, it's teaching them like how to cooperate with each other, because like there's like thousands of agents playing these different games. Doom is another one that they're playing, and they're like learning how to communicate with each other, how to accomplish certain things by working together. And these AI agents are like realizing that they can do a lot more by cooperating and working together, and they're just figuring all that out by playing these games. Um, and there's this other uh, application or whatever called AI Science now, where it's actually going out and like discovering things, and like doing these experiments, and they can like just theorize, and at a very much faster rate than humans could. Um, and so it's just really hinting at what the future is going to be like. um, Very exciting just to think about the potential, even though it's just early days right now. It just gives us a glimpse into the future. And like now, Waymo is starting to be go to more and more places, and um, so Waymo and Tesla are similar in that they're both, and Cruise is another one too. They're both like or like self-driving vehicles, but they also differ in a lot of ways. And so some people might think that like Waymo and Cruise now are way ahead of Tesla, because they're already out in the wild, and they're already taking passengers and everything. But I don't really want this to get into a discussion of Tesla, but I guess we went there, so I might as well complete my thought here. um, but the thing is with Tesla is that um, they operate on a whole different structure instead of um, just like having to map out every city like the way Waymo does. They have to totally map out wherever they want to go, whereas Tesla uses neural networks, which is more like the way we think, and it has like cameras now that they thought they just figured out that that can be adapted more easily to different situations instead of having to foresee every possible um, like play location. Basically, they can just adapt to what they see in the moment. And now they just came out with this summons capability where you just press a button on your Tesla app and you can either tell it exactly where you want it to go, like on this map that comes up, you can tell it in the parking lot, I want you to park here, or if you just want it to decide where to park or to come to you, actually. It's more of a coming to you feature where or you can tell it like where to, like if you want it to wait out in the front of the Walmart or whatever and you're still checking out because it's raining outside and you don't want to have to get wet or whatever, you can tell it where to go, or you can just say come to me, and then wherever you're at it just can find its way from the parking lot or whatever to wherever you are, and it's doing like these 3-point turns and going around these concrete barriers or what other cars or like pedestrians walking. It totally has steered around all that stuff. All these videos are just now coming out in the last couple days, and the app is going to be like rolling out to everybody here very soon. Right now, it's just a few select people that have it, but it's just exciting times. And next, they're going to do Banish, like where you can tell it, like I was starting to say earlier, like tell it to go park itself or whatever. That will be an upcoming feature really soon. And and now it's also training itself on all these edge scenes because it records all these drives and had this way more data than anyone else, just because it records all this for training purposes, and it can now generate its own like edge cases and stuff, so it doesn't have to actually wait for these weird situations to occur. The AI now can generate like what would this be like on a very snowy terrain or whatever, mountainous, or just I don't even know all the weird edge cases that they are um, testing it on now. But it's just so cool that they don't actually have to wait days and days and weeks and months for these weird scenarios to happen. They can just kind of create a lot of them ahead of time and be training the models on them. And so um, and the cars just drive at a natural rate now, like not too slow and not too fast, and people are just commenting on how smooth they are, like they don't stop sharply or things like that very often anymore at all. And so yeah, I better leave here before my tape or my recording turns off, but I just think this is very cool, and I'm sure I'll be revisiting these topics again. um, And I can't wait to try out the self driving, whether it's Cruise or Waymo or whatever comes to my town first. I'm going to be the first one in there if I can, um, if I possibly can. And I will be sure to take along my recording or my glasses and record it for you. And so, with that, I will say goodbye for now, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. That really does help the YouTube to push it out to more people so they can find out about my channel too. And I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye.